This is one of those times when the formats don't really gel too well together. I can only imagine the reactions of people who saw the background video on this and said, "Oh, there's more? What else does he have to say about this?" Comes here and proceeds to watch me for the next 10 to 15 minutes make a complete jackass of myself. Well, just to clarify, when this was requested, this was back when the show was more of a comedy program that occasionally discussed serious topics, and not a serious discussion occasionally interrupted by comedy. So, we are going to be sticking with the format. It's not that we're going to be skipping any serious analysis of the film, it's just that we've got to cover a lot of stuff on the way that doesn't, hold up to serious analysis. And thus, the jackassery I mentioned. Oh, we'll also talk about how chocolate gets made, kind of like what I did with Swords over on Highlander, except you actually get to taste your final work. So, after the chocolatey titles, we kick off with kids getting out of school and heading straight to the candy store.
Listen, Wonka's got a new one today.
What is it?
This is called a scumdiddlyumptious bar.
The marketing department is run by Ned Flanders.
How does he do it?
My dear boy.
Are you engaged in industrial espionage? Well, this prompts him to kick off the first musical of the film, The Candyman. The good kind, not the one covered in bees. I have a theory that the owner of this store is tied up in the back. That's why this guy is just throwing stuff to the kids without a care. Watching this through the storefront window is Charlie, but he has no time to be an extra. He has papers to deliver, especially because it's payday. But on the way home, he runs by the gated entrance to the Wonka factory. Always good to support local businesses.
The airy mountain, down the rushing glen. We dare not go a-hunting, for fear of little men.
This guy's on a list somewhere. Not saying which one, but there's definitely a list for whatever it is that he's done. At home, Grandpa Joe laments how hard poor Charlie has to work.
Not enough hours in the day. With the four of you bedridden for the past 20 years, it takes a lot of work to keep this family going.
20 years? Yeesh. Think about how absurdly long ago 2004 was. Just imagine saying, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is going to make a comeback. He's going to front a $30 billion franchise by playing Iron Man. Well, no, not right away, of course. He salvages his career by performing in blackface. Maybe bringing up the MCU is cheating. Who could imagine telling someone in 2004, when superhero movies were Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men, and Blade, that at some point there would not only be an Ant-Man movie, but the lamentation was, Ant-Man 3 just wasn't as good as Ant-Man 1 and 2 were. That's the point where people will jump from here to the comments. Horrible narrator, what a waste of time. Anyway, Charlie arrives home, says hello to his conveniently named grandparents, and reveals he's got a big-ass loaf of bread.
This. Charlie, where'd you get that?
What difference does it make where he got it? Point is, he got it.
What'd you do, Charlie? Slip it out the back or club the baker over the head first? Charlie gives the money to his mother, except a tiny bit.
From now on, I'm going to pay for your tobacco.
I miss the days when respectful children would get a job to support their grandparents' addictions. That night, after everyone else goes to bed, Charlie tells Grandpa Joe about the creepy guy and his remark, "Nobody ever goes in, nobody ever comes out." Yeah, Grandpa Joe says that back in the day, competitors would slip inside and steal Wonka's recipes. Especially Slugworth, he was a right bastard. So now the factory runs without outside workers, but no one knows who's in there doing the work. Speaking of mysteries, Charlie's horrible teacher.
Charlie Bucket?
Yes, Mr. Turkentine?
I shall need an assistant. Come and give me a hand.
Your family's too poor to sue.
We have here nitric acid, glycerine, and a special mixture of my own.
What kind of hellish science class is this? You're teaching chemistry, you're not Colonel Sanders. There's no secret ingredient.
Good lad, pour.
The man who declared vaccines cause autism. This crime against science is interrupted by rushing about in the hall, where a kid explains the premise of the film has begun. Willy Wonka is opening his factory to 5 lucky winners of a contest who will get a lifetime supply of chocolate as well. All they have to do is find one of the 5 golden tickets that he has stashed away in his candy. I had something I was going to say about that, but sometimes when I leave to look something up on the web to verify, it gets interrupted and I forget how I started. Apparently, given my last link, it has something to do with the execution of former Soviet Politburo bigwig Lavrentiy Beria. So, there's the home game version of this program for you. Figure out what it was I was going to talk about based on that endpoint. Yeah, there's going to be some real bitching in the comments by new people wondering what in God's name my show is even attempting. The news shows people all over the world desperate to get their hands on Wonka bars, and indeed, everyone's talking about it.
I've told you, Mr. Hofstadter, to believe in one's dreams is a manifestation of insanity.
I know it's out of context, but saying to believe in one's dreams is a manifestation of insanity in a German accent really sounds like something a bad guy would do.
We began with 5 golden tickets, like 5 lucky bolts of lightning ready to strike without notice at any point on the map.
That analogy admittedly sounded better in my head. The first ticket was found, in Germany actually, by Augustus Gloop. Everyone is supposed to know how fat he is, but this is 1971, which means they will likely get tossed out of auditions for fat kids in today's movies. He gets a visit from a dubious-looking waiter, whom we later learn is none other than Slugworth. But no time for that, it's Charlie's birthday, and while he gets a sweater to keep warm, he also gets a Wonka bar. Grandpa Joe is convinced there's a golden ticket inside.
I got it!
Where?
Let's see. Told you, didn't I?
What the fuck is with this family? To make them seem normal by comparison, we run into Veruca, who's bitching because while over 750,000 bars have been opened by the staff that work in his nut factory, her father hasn't yet found a golden ticket. After she's finished shrieking her displeasure at the lack of instant gratification, someone finally finds one, if only just to shut her up for 5 minutes. Slugworth is right there as well. I mean, like right there. It's like the guy's got some kind of spider sense or something. So that leaves just 3.
The mad craze that's sweeping the world today. Whatever corner of the globe we are in, whichever of the 5 continents we're on.
5 continents? He must have learned geography from Charlie's teacher. Well, to sort things out, we have a computer that is going to tell its proud programmer where the 3 remaining tickets are.
It says, I won't tell. That would be cheating.
Frickin' ChatGPT, just answer the damn question. Well, a computer can't trump good old-fashioned childhood determination, so Violet Beauregard is soon celebrated as having the 3rd one. She soon gets a visit from Slugworth, too. And Charlie is disappointed, so he goes to visit his mother at the laundry.
I wonder who the lucky ones will be.
Well, in case you're wondering if it'll be me, it won't be. Just in case you're wondering, you can count me out.
Thanks for clearing that up.
There are 100 billion people in this world, and
What? You live in frickin' Coruscant or something? He's disappointed because, well, his life sucks and he wants something to change, and this would be a hell of a something. She says that someday, when he least expects it, things will finally change. Hopefully not by being hit by a bus, which seems to be his luck. She even sings Cheer Up Charlie in the hopes that will help, but soon the 4th ticket is found by Mike TV, who, as the name implies, is obsessed with television, especially westerns.
What do you think life's all about?
Mike, would you tell us if...
Learning a lot, huh, kid? Do you hear voices, Michael? Yeah, but I ignore them and go right on killing.
Wait till I get a real one.
The more I picture him and his gun, the more I imagine some twisted version of, oh, the places you'll go. Slugworth talks to him too, and that leaves one final ticket now. But Grandpa Joe makes a play at it.
Grandpa, that money was for tobacco.
It absolutely kills me that in a film where it presents tobacco use like, what's the harm? In a movie where they condemn watching too much television and chewing fucking gum. Well, there's no golden ticket inside, and meanwhile the last box of Wonka bars in the UK gets auctioned off. A man is kidnapped with a ransom for Wonka bars, and, well, it's all in vain. The last ticket has been found in Paraguay. So, let's get on with our lives.
I've just decided to switch our Friday schedule to Monday, which means that the test we take each Friday on what we learned during the week will now take place on Monday before we've learned it.
Well, at least there's a plan. He uses the recent Wonka ticket craze to explain percentages. He's thrown off when Charlie says he only opened 2 bars, because knowing one of your students is dirt poor is beyond what a teacher should be arsed to find out. On the way home, Fortune smiles on Charlie as he finds some money under the sewer grate and goes to buy some chocolate, wolfing that sucker down like someone was going to come and snatch it away, which, the way Charlie's life goes, just might happen. But finding that money seems to be the first sign that his luck is changing, because he learns that guy in Paraguay made up the fake golden ticket, meaning the real one's still out there. Now, the reason for this false 5th ticket is to help further show the difference between Charlie and the other kids, because sure enough, the 5th ticket is inside his bar of chocolate. Now, why does that make a difference? Charlie is the only one who got a golden ticket without trying to. That is, he bought Wonka's chocolate purely for the joy of it, not for any reward beyond that. Well, time for...
I congratulate you, little boy.
Besides candy, this town's chief production is creepy middle-aged white guys. That's Slugworth again. Mofo really gets around. And he explains that Wonka is working on the everlasting gobstopper, and Slugworth needs to have that if he's going to stay in business.
Your reward will be 10,000 of these.
Bear Stearns CDOs. You're welcome, financial nerds. Charlie runs home and shows it to everyone, and is their excitement. He gets to bring one person, and wants it to be Grandpa Joe. So the old-timer is motivated to finally get his ass out of bed, and to stand for the first time in 20 years.
I'm glad everybody dropped by. You must be wondering why I didn't call you here.
Wouldn't it be weird if quitting tobacco was all he needed to do to be able to walk again? With him up and about now, he sings the Golden Ticket song. It's set to the theme we've been hearing throughout around Charlie. So after making a big show of things, it's time to make an even bigger show of things, as a brass band and hoopla are all outside the gates. At 10 on the dot, the door opens and Willy Wonka himself limps out. This was insisted upon by Gene Wilder. He wanted that in his first scene so that you would never know for the rest of the film whether or not he was lying. It might be right now, because he's almost impossibly tolerant of the bullshit that comes pouring through his gate, finishing up with Charlie and Grandpa Joe. A thing I have to comment on is Wonka's appearance. This is something you find done well in older works, I've noticed, which is that they knew how to make an eccentric costume that didn't seem like a costume. Wilder looks perfectly natural in that burnt umber top hat, purple coat, and khaki pants. He's odd, yet the outfit doesn't give you the sense of being a costume. What it succeeds in doing, and this is key, is it makes Willy Wonka stand out, but it doesn't make the costume stand out. The clothing makes the man rather than overshadowing the man. See, sometimes you have to get through 15 or so minutes of my bullshit before we get to stuff like that.